All right, let's do some honey garlic. So this is fresh garlic, 100% grown in our garden. This is actually the garlic we picked this year. So we just planted a few weeks ago the other garlic. So you want to make sure that you break the bulbs apart and peel them and make sure they're dry. So they are there. I have a decent sized mason jar here, so you can really do as big of a jar as you want. Because these are fresh, these are a little more potent than the ones you would get at the store that aren't as fresh. So I use less. I've seen a lot of people say to fill your jar and then fill the honey over top. So I'm not going to do that because this is more fresh than the store-bought garlic that you typically get. And then I do just have store-bought honey, raw 100% honey. That's what we had available. Unfortunately, I don't have beads. At least I don't have beads yet, I should say. So you're going to want to cover these completely. And this can take up to a month or more really to ferment. And I'm just going to put the whole thing of honey in there because there's a lot of garlic. So let's just let that drip for a minute. So now you see the bubble there. So that is the garlic. Actually, when the honey goes in and it starts to combine, the honey will let off gases, and that's part of the fermentation process. So every day for at least the first 2 weeks, you want to open your jar and what they call is burping it to release those gases. You do not want those to stay in there. And you want to kind of gently shake it to make sure that you're stirring that garlic around, getting the good flavor in there, and also getting all that gas up to the top and releasing that every day. And then in a month, it'll be ready to use. You just want to store this in a dry space that really not too hot, not too cold. It's just a cabinet really is where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it in with my other fermenting things. I have some lemon and orange and vanilla extracts all up in the cabinet. So I'll add this to that up there and we'll let it sit for a month. I'm going to take it out every day. I do flip those jars in there. So this will just be part of that process. Just waiting for it to drip out, and then I'm gonna I think that's pretty good. It's kind of just a slow little drip. So I'm just gonna make sure we get them all coated. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put the lid on tight, and I'm gonna kind of gently shake it around and then get any of those bubbles from down here. There's quite a few. Hopefully they'll come to the top, and we'll see what that looks like. It looks like there's pretty coated in there. I might have to add a little bit more honey. You do want to make sure when you're doing this that all of your garlic is coated. So I think I'm going to have to add a little bit more. Let me shake it up a little bit and see. And then if I have to add some more, I will. And then also you want to leave a little bit of a headspace, which I could definitely fill this more. I just am choosing not to. You can leave a little. You have to leave a little bit of headspace because of those bubbles. You do not want that to be in there. I'm actually going to add some more honey. So let's see here. Okay, so I added some more honey and then I flipped it upside down, and now it's going back down. Let me open the jar. So I did add quite a bit more in there, and there's still quite a few bubbles. I did get a little bit on the side here, so I'm going to wash that off. But I feel like over time those will kind of settle to the bottom. So I'm going to leave it alone for tonight and check back with it tomorrow before we head out for Thanksgiving dinner with my family and see how it's doing, and to see if I should add any more honey. I feel like that is plenty in there now. I did probably about like this much more in there, and then I flipped it to make sure I got any of those extra bubbles out. So now there's just little ones, so I'm gonna let it sit for a while, and I'll check on it here in a little while. I'm gonna do some baking, and if I need to burp it again before I go to bed, I will, just because it's new gas is releasing. So I'm gonna wipe this jar down. I'm gonna seal the lid on tight, and then I'm going to put it in the cabinet and let it do its thing.